Don't record yet.
Not yet, not yet.
No, okay, I'll do that. I can do that.
वीडियो में देखिए आगे नहीं वीडियो में देखिए
Video setting.
वीडियो सेटिंग
Oh my. Oh, rotate. Yes. I'm back.
Lovely, thank you.
श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की
Hare ki jai.
लाडली लाल की जय। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Today I will sing for a few minutes a kirtan. So let's do Roop Dhyan with eyes closed. Radhe 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 बोलिए राधा रानी महारानी की जय। श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय। We have been speaking about the path of devotion, and so much has been said. I reminded you of many concepts in the path of devotion. But one thing that I did not speak on as of yet is nishkamta, that devotion must be selfless. There should be no desire whatsoever on the part of the devotee. If we start desiring something, then we can never become devotees of God. If we keep on asking Sham Sundar for something or the other, we will get some of what we desire because of our destiny, because our destiny has that in store for us. But many things that we desire will not come our way because we are not destined to have them. And because God does not see it fit to give that to us because it's damaging, it's harmful to us. So when we get what we want, we will say, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, we will glorify God and we will be in love with Him. But when we don't get what we want, then we will find fault with Him. Invariably, we will find fault with Him. This is why the devotees of the highest caliber have emphasized nishkamta, selflessness on the path of devotion. Do not desire anything. Basically, there are only two things we can desire, and these are bhukti and mukti. Bhukti means desire for happiness, means happiness, the pleasures that. Are you able to hear me properly, or should I increase my volume?
It's okay,
We
Didi.
can hear
Please
you,
go.
Didi.
We can hear you, Didi.
Okay. Bhukti means the pleasures that are in this world, and then including the pleasures that are in the 7 levels of Svargalok, Bhuvasvaha Mahajana Tapasata, and Brahmalok. So from here to the 7th level of Swarg, all the pleasures of Maya are called Bhukti. And Mukti, of course, is liberation. So we must desire neither Bhukti nor Mukti. The one who desires Bhukti is very innocent, is very naive, because he thinks that true happiness can come from worldly pleasures. When he tastes worldly pleasures, he thinks this is real happiness. But those pleasures are ever decreasing. Those pleasures do not satisfy. Those pleasures are very temporary. So the one who desires bhukti, and even in Swargalok, the pleasures are very, very great, but they are still limited, and they are ever not, rather than being ever increasing, they are ever decreasing. You get less and less happiness as time goes along. So the one who desires bhukti is extremely naive, extremely foolish, extremely ignorant. But the one who wants mukti, liberation, is also not very intelligent. Because as Goswami Tulsidas says, Bhagati karat soi mukti gosai anichit avat bariyai. The one who practices genuine devotion to God will automatically become liberated. Liberation will come his way. In other words, he will be liberated from this world. He will attain God realization. He must not ask for it. To ask for anything from God is wrong, whether it is bhukti or mukti. Although there's a huge difference between bhukti and mukti, yet begging is begging, asking is asking. Selfishness is selfishness, no matter what you are being selfish for. So Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, Shri Maharaj has said that you must not tolerate any desires as you practice devotion. Many people say, well, I'll desire something or the other from God because I'm so used to it. And as time passes, I'll become more mature in my devotional practice and I will stop asking. However, the fact is that we have practiced devotion to God in innumerable lifetimes. And innumerable lifetimes in which we practice devotion, we did not really practice devotion. We just asked God for something or the other. So now we have a very strong tendency to ask God for something or the other, whether it's good health, better health, a good job, a better job, the dream job, a child. It could be anything, but we are used to asking God for something worldly. And we have been asking and asking and asking, and we are not yet satisfied. And that means that we should not be asking anymore. We have been beggars in front of God, but begging for the wrong thing. And we are not yet satisfied. And also, we have got into the habit of asking. So, the reasoning that many people put forward that I will start out being a selfish devotee, then I'll become a selfless devotee, it's not logical. Moreover, Sri Maharaji points out that if you're asking God for something or the other, you're not a selfish devotee. You're not a devotee at all. You are only selfish. You're not a sakam bhakt. You're only sakam. Leave out the bhakt, leave out the devotee part. You have not yet started to practice devotion. So right from the beginning, a Rasic saint teaches the disciple to be selfless. Do not ask God for anything. And why should we be selfless? There are many reasons. One is that we really don't know what to ask from God. We don't know. We will ask for wherever we think happiness lies, that's what we will ask for. We don't know what to ask for. Once Sri Krishna went to Svargalok, and there he said to Indra, the king of all the devtas there, I'm very pleased with you. What is it that I can give you? Varam bruhi, vardhan mango. Ask me for anything. And Arjun became so, or rather Indra became so excited that he can have anything he wants. He said, I want the most beautiful female in the three universes. So even Indra, who has so much more knowledge than we do, even Indra does not know what to ask for. This is why wisdom lies in not asking for anything. Yasta ashisha ashaste nasa bhritya savai vanik, Bhagavad Puran. Here, child devotee Prahlad is saying, my Lord, the one who asks you for something or the other is not a true devotee of yours. He is just a businessman. So we must not ask God for anything. And if you say, well, I must ask for something, then as Sri Maharaji says, Nitya Seva Mangu, ask for Seva. Ask God, ask Shamsundar, ask your Gurudev to engage you in their Seva, in devotional service. नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी ना भुक्ति ना ही mukti mangu मैं. I do not desire bhukti nor mukti. I desire neither bhukti nor mukti. I only desire to serve you selflessly. So that is what we should ask for. So we don't know what to ask from God. We are like a little child that wants to play with what he thinks is a toy, but which actually is a bottle of poison. The child is so enamored with a beautiful, beautiful toy because the bottle is a very pretty one, but it contains poison in it. The child is naive. The child is innocent. So the child wants to play with that bottle of poison. But the mother knows what damage this so-called toy can do to the child. So she would not, under any circumstance, give that bottle of poison to her child. In the same way, God knows that we don't know what we should be asking from him. And when we do ask, it's for the wrong thing. And so we must not ask. Another reasoning for why we must not ask God for anything is because there's something called destiny. And if we are not meant to have what we are asking for, we will never have it. It's for those of you familiar with the Indian movies, Hindi movies, Bollywood movies, they're called, the old time movies. There was always a scene in so many of the movies. There was a scene where a woman, for instance, a scenario would be a woman, her child is very sick, and she takes a little child in her arms. She's crying. She goes to the temple and she rings a bell and she says to God, I've never asked you for anything before, but I ask that you save my child's life. And the whole theater, everybody would be in tears because it's such an emotional scene. But when you get to know the philosophy of Jagatguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, then you have to laugh at that. When that scene comes up, you have to laugh because what is this woman saying? I've never asked for anything in my life. मैंने आज तक तुमसे कुछ नहीं मांगा. I've never asked you for anything. And I can just hear Maharaji saying, are you kidding me? You've only asked God for this and that. You've asked for so much. So how can you claim to have never asked anything from God? And then the scene would be, going back to the scene in the movie, then there would be some indication the flower will fall from Lord Krishna's hand. It would fall, and then the whole theater would say, oh, so good. And the woman would be so relieved. Oh, God has heard my prayers. My son is going to be okay. And the son, of course, opens his eyes and he seems to be well. And so that's just not real life. It's real life, REEL. From real life, we have imbibed this in our real life. That that's what you should go do that's what you should do when you go to the temple, when you go before God. You should ask God. But philosophy says no, you should not ask. Because another reasoning is, why do you need to ask God? Well, because God is my mother, God is my father. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. And a child does ask mother and father for what he needs, does he not? And so I'm asking my mother and father, I'm asking Shri Krishna. It sounds good, but it's not really good because a child, first of all, does not have to ask the parents for what the child needs, because the parents have it figured out before the child has. So the parents will give the child what the child needs. And another reason why we should not ask God for anything is that we have not really accepted him to be our mother and father. We only say in words, Tvameva Mata, you are my only mother. Cha Pita Tvameva, and my only father. But we don't really believe these words. So first we must work on accepting God to be our real mother and real father, the only mother, the only father. And then we can ask God for something like Draupadi did. She asked Shri Krishna because she accepted Shri Krishna to be her one and only. So she asked with full authority, please come and protect my honor. Dushasan is pulling at my sari. He's going to disrobe me in front of everyone. So please come and save my honor. And Shri Krishna came. He appeared because she was a devotee. She had accepted him as her everything, so he had to come for her. Or like Gajraj, who asked God to protect his life, to protect him from the stronghold of the crocodile, and Bhagwan helped him. Even before Gajraj had uttered the entire prayer, he had only uttered Ra before he could say Ma, and thereby say Ram. He was rescued. These two are devotees of God. They are the ones who accept that God alone is their one and only. God alone is mine. Only God is mine. And then these devotees have the right to ask for anything. However, Sri Maharaji says, don't be like Gujraj, don't be like Draupadi. Do not ask God for anything. They are selfish devotees, Sakam Bhakt. We are only selfish, not devotees, if we keep on asking God for something or the other. But these two are selfish devotees, and they are venerable. They are to be worshipped by us, but we must not emulate their devotion. We must not ask God for anything. So neither bhukti nor mukti. Don't ask God for anything. So first of all, because we don't know what to ask for, we don't know what's good for us and what is bad for us. And God is all-knowing, so he already knows what we need. And then there's destiny. If destiny does not have that particular thing in store for us, we can ask God for anything, and yet it will not come our way. There's a story told in the Bhagavad about a king, Chitraketu, I believe was his name, and he had so many wives, many, many, many wives, and hundreds of them, thousands of them, in fact, and not a single child. So the king was distraught. He said, I don't have an heir to the throne. And he asked Sage Narad, who was visiting him, he said, oh, great sage, you can give me a child. I know you can give me the blessing of a child. And Naradji said, you're not meant to have a child. No, you can do anything. You can do anything you want. I know who you are. Naradji said, this child, I will give you the boon of having a child, but this child will bring you great joy, and it will bring you great misery also. So what happened was that one of the queens bore a child, and there was no end to the king's happiness. He was the happiest. And but the queen who had given birth, she became the king's favorite, and all the other queens became jealous. And now the child was growing up in the palace. He was a young prince, and there was no end to the king's happiness. He was just beside himself, and nothing and no one can bring him down. But the queens were now hatching a plan, and they planned to kill the child. So when the child was still very, very small, they gave him poison, and now the child was gone. He was dead. Now there was no end to the king's grief. Naraji had said, the child will bring you great joy, but it will bring you great grief also, because you're not meant to have this child. So whatever we are not meant to have, we will not have. Why keep on asking God for it? And destiny has to be kept in mind. Main thing is that we really cannot become true devotees of God unless and until we stop asking. That's it. But even in so many prayers that we are familiar with, and I don't mean Maharajji's compositions, there are so many prayers out there in the world, and the devotee just sings it very proudly, very emotionally, saying that this is what I want from God. I want that you give me this. I want that you give me that. And he's shedding tears, and yet it's all wrong. It's absolutely wrong. So that's a little bit about Nishkamta. I believe I did speak about Ananyata, having one form of God to love. So I don't need to go into that again. But I did not speak about Karma Sannyas Sadhana yet. So Karma Yoga Sadhana has been talked about. But now let's talk about Karma Sannyas Sadhana. Very, very important. There has to be some time that we set aside in which to practice devotion. Some people say, mohabbat ki nahi jati, mohabbat ho hi jati hai. Love is not something you practice. Love is something that happens spontaneously. But Sri Maharaji used to point out that if love is such a spontaneous thing, then why have we not yet fallen in love with God? Why haven't we yet fallen in love with Sri Krishna if love is such a spontaneous thing? And this means that love has to be practiced. We have to practice loving him. And to practice something, we need to set aside some time. The preferred time is early in the morning. Brahme muhurto uttishtet. Our scriptures say, wake up early in the morning, a little bit before sunrise. That time is really the most conducive for the practice of devotion because there are pure vibrations in the atmosphere. Your mind is more or less free of thoughts. You haven't started interacting with the world. The world is more or less in the form of your family members. They're still asleep, so you have privacy. So for many reasons, early morning time is the best. But as you have heard many times, there's no hard and fast rule about when to practice devotion. This is just a suggestion that early morning is the best, is the most practical time. It is best to keep an image of God and your Guru in front of you, and these are powerful reminders. We do need these reminders. And to do devotion means to do Rup Dhyan. Rup Dhyan is what devotion is. So we are going to do Rup Dhyan. We are going to meditate on, we're going to visualize Sham Sundar and Radharani. And by ourselves, it feels very difficult. We find it very difficult to do this by ourselves without any help. So bhajans and kirtans come in to help us. When we play those bhajans and kirtans or when we sing them, then it is much easier to do Rup Dhyan rather than just doing it by itself. So kirtans and bhajans are going to be very instrumental in karma sannyas sadhana. You have taken sannyas from all your karma, from all your duties and obligations. And all you know now is that I am a child of God. He is my father, he's my mother, he's my beloved, he's my one and only. He's my best friend. He's my master, he's my Lord, he's my everything. And you forget everything else. I'm someone's father, or I'm someone's mother, I'm someone's daughter, I'm someone's wife, or someone's husband. I am this, I'm a female, I'm a male, I'm Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, I'm Indian, this and that. No, just I am a child of God. And this is my time, one-on-one with God and Guru. So guard that time very jealously. No one should be able to disturb you at that time. The Bhagavad Gita says that this devotion must be done in private. If privacy isn't there, someone or the other is coming in, disturbing you, or calling out to you, then your focus is going to be diverted. And it's very difficult, as you all know, it's very difficult to do Rup Dhyan. It's very difficult to focus on God in the first place. But with bhajans and kirtan, especially with the descriptive bhajans and kirtans, it's very easy, so much easier to do Rup Dhyan of Sri Radha and Krishna. And then you have the Danya Madhuri bhajans, which make it very easy for us to cry in front of Radha and Krishna, to cry in front of our Gurudev. It is so important to shed tears of love and longing. And if these don't come, then tears of repentance are very important. It's very important to shed them. Kabir Das ji has said, Bin roye kin paiyan prem pyaro meet. No one has attained the divine beloved without shedding tears. Ansuan jal sinch prem bel boi, ab to bel phail gayi, anand phal hoi. Mirabai has extolled the virtues of shedding tears of love for Sham Sundar. Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadarudhaya gira, says Gauranga Mahaprabhu. You must shed tears for Radha and Krishna. And it's very important to have that little murti or an image of God. It could be made of paper, it could be a painting, could be a photo, could be a murti of whatever size. But it's very important to take that as a base and then close your eyes and form a face of Sri Krishna, if not the whole body, maybe just the face. And then the songs that are very descriptive that will help you to form an image of what Sri Krishna looks like. Lord Krishna is wearing a Banamala, the garland of 5 flowers. Lord Krishna has very, very large, beautiful eyes, nectar-filled eyes. The words are going to suggest this. Lord Krishna has curly black hair, which is very, very soft. So as you keep listening to the description in the bhajan, you're going to do the Roop Dhyan. Our mind is very mischievous, so our mind craves variety. It craves variety in food. It desires a lot of variety in the kind of clothing we wear, in makeup and this and that. Sri Maharaj used to say, if a person could do it, he would change the color of his eyes every day. He would change the length of his hair every day. He would change his face every day if he could, but he can't. So we do the best we can. I said to a girl once, a young girl, I said, your eyes are so blue and they match your outfit. And she said, actually, Didi, my eyes are brown. I said, how are they blue? I'm wearing lenses. This was when they were fairly new. So, oh, okay. She said, I have many lenses. So if I wear a green outfit, my eyes are green that day. So we do what we can to change things about our face. When it comes to devotion, our mind is the same, so it's going to crave variety. So sometimes we're going to think about Krishna, who is our best friend, same age, he's the same age as you. Sometimes he is your child, you're going to Vatsalya Bhav. Sometimes he's your beloved, he's Madhurya Bhav. In fact, this Madhurya Bhav is not just sometimes. Sri Maharaj suggests that this should be all the time, but just sometimes you go into other Bhav as well, from time to time. But mostly stay in Madhurya Bhav. Dasya Bhavena Sakyena Vatsalyena Yada Kada Nityam Madhurya Bhavena Shri Krishna Sevyate Maya. So always stay in Madhurya Bhav. From time to time, go into the other Bhav, go into the other sentiments. He's my best friend, he's my child, he's my Lord and Master. But when you have lots of different bhajans that you have already prepared, that I'm going to sing these or I'm going to listen to these and I'm going to sing along, then your mind nature to crave variety will be satisfied. Your mind will not, it's less likely to go here and there. But still the mind will go here and there. So wherever the mind has gone to, just look at it, observe it. Where has it gone? It has gone banking. Oh, I had to do banking, so the mind has gone banking. So then right there in the bank, there is Radha and Krishna, and there's the gopis and the Gwalbal. All of them are there. Or just Lord Krishna is there. Or just your Gurudev is there. So wherever your mind goes, put God and Guru right there. In Maharajji's words, Jaha man jaye, wahi manmohan ko le jao. So sweet. Take the thief of hearts wherever your mind goes. And in your Roop Dhyan, dress Krishna up in the way that you want. Dress him up any which way. Dress him up in the way that you've seen him in the pictures, or dress him up a completely different way. The freedom is left up to you. The choice is left up to you. You have the freedom to do all that. To keep your mind engaged in Radha and Krishna, keep it focused on God, you must give it interesting things to think about. So whatever you find interesting, whichever pastime of Sri Krishna you find interesting, and it's a pastime you've never thought about, but you create that because you feel free to create that pastime, that Leela, because Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. His pastimes are unlimited, so you can think of any pastime, something you've never heard of, and he has already done it. So have him perform the pastimes of your choice, dress him up as you like, give him the foods to eat that you like to eat, and for at least an hour, engage your mind in the thoughts of your divine beloved using the bhajans and kirtans. And when the mind goes here and there, put Lord Krishna wherever the mind is gone. So soon the mind will become accustomed to thinking, wherever I go, he comes, I go there to get away from him, but he keeps coming there. So I may as well rest at his lotus feet. That is what the mind will start thinking when you give it enough time, when you give it enough practice. Karma Sannyas Sadhana. I will stop here and I will ask if you have any questions or concerns, and I will be happy to address those. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Srimad Yugal Sarkar ki Jai. You can raise your hand if you have a question.
Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, Didi, I had this question, and that Shri Maharaj Ji says that we should always ask for Nishkam Bhakti and nothing else from
Yes.
Hari Guru. And but in Sansar, we see situations sometimes when someone of our friends or family is in a lot of pain. It could be physical pain or mental pain. There's a lot of suffering.
Yes.
Shall we, in that situation as well, ask nothing and just bear it? Or I mean, because we think of that we should ask something at least, or we just leave it. So it's a confusion in my mind.
Right. Yes, it's very tempting at that time to ask God, please alleviate their suffering. But you also know that that doesn't help. That kind of prayer doesn't help. So many people ask me, can you please pray for me? Can you pray for my child? And I always say, you have my best wishes. I wish you well, but I cannot say that my prayer, that I will send a prayer out, because that's not the philosophy I follow. It's not the philosophy you follow. And so to wish them well is one thing, but to ask God, pray to God to heal them is another. So I know you feel helpless, you feel like you want to do something, but you also know that that prayer doesn't help. So just wish them well and do whatever you can do for them, but do not ask God, because it doesn't work anyhow. It doesn't work in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean, like our the way we understand it, like it's like we don't said that our belief about Hari Guru will get lowered if we don't get what we want or what we ask for. जैसे महाराज जी कहते हैं कि उससे तो नास्तिकता आ जाएगी अगर हम मांगेंगे, क्योंकि वो होगा नहीं. But still, yes, it's tempting to ask, and because many a time people say कि मांगोगे नहीं तो कैसे कष्ट दूर होगा, और but I think I got the answer.
Yes. Unko pehle hi pata hai. He got, Shyam Sundar also already knows when to give us illness or when some problem is going to come our way and when we're going to be relieved of it. So he knows, we have to trust him. That's it. Yes.
Thank you, Didi. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Most welcome.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji, you talked about the Gujarat story. I don't know what that Gujarat story is, please.
He was a king of elephants, and he was drinking water at the pond one day in a lake, I believe. And a crocodile grabbed hold of one of his legs, and kept it in his grasp. And Gajraj tried, and he called out to his subjects and family members. They all tried, but they could not help him. And so he said, he called out to God, he called out to Ram, but all he did was to say Ra, and Bhagwan rescued him from the hold of the crocodile. Yes, that's Gajraj,
Thank you.
the
Thank
king of elephants. Yes.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe.
I'm just thinking, when you say we should not ask for anything, but isn't it his blessing that we will also get into the path of having bhakti or devotion towards God? There should also be some destiny to be able to follow the path of devotion, isn't it?
Who am I speaking? Is it Bhavna?
This is Purna.
Purna. Purna, can I see you? I don't see you. There, no, I see your name. I don't see your face.
Can you
Yes,
see me
Purna.
now?
I see you now. Yes, Purna, can you repeat, please? Oh, now there's no volume.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm connecting through mobile today. So, yeah. So the question is, when we say we should not ask anything to God, it is through devotion we always pray, or it is not even pray. We should always have the devotion towards God. So my question is basically, isn't it devotion also a kind of, unless we have that in our destiny, we'll not come into that path of devotion? Or yeah, or is it something of individual's effort that we should try to do that practice of devotion?
It's both. Sometimes, it's part of your destiny also that you have done devotion in the past. And then in
Yeah.
this life, you're born in a family which practices devotion. And then you see the need to practice devotion. You're attracted towards it. But then we humans have the privilege of performing actions in the present. And those are kriyaman karm. So even though it may not be in our nature to do it, just by logically thinking, who am I? Who do I belong to? You start practicing devotion to God. So it's both. It's not just predestined. It's you have this nature, devotional
Okay.
kind of nature because of your previous lifetimes, actions of previous lives, and then you also work on it in this life. If your previous sanskars are not very strong, but you work on it, and so you strengthen them.
Yeah. How does that seed of devotion get into us?
It's already there. It's already there. It is already there because you've done this in the past and you don't remember it, so it's inside of you. And basically, what you want to do now is to develop it more, so that it's a full-grown tree. It was a little seedling, and now it's a full-grown tree. And so you just practice it under the guidance of a guru, and that's how you, again, with practice of karma sannyas sadhana and karma yoga sadhana.
Okay. Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Devi.
Radhe Radhe.
Sandeep. I have one question, like, wanted to understand, like, how this guilt of anything which is beyond our control, or maybe it's in our control, how much it's hindrance to someone, because we are not anyway even reached to a level in devotion, but still we are doing something from our end, by the grace of God. But how much is this, sometimes the guilt sort of which is beyond our control is hindrance to our, the devotion which we are doing. Like, some of things, like, we are staying far from our parents. They are in India and we are here. And it's always a guilt, like we are not doing enough. And also there are a few things like which we do in day-to-day life, um, like few are culturally, eating non-veg or something. So these sort of guilt, how much is hindrance to our devotions, and should we keep that, of or let it be with time, or consider it deterministic or something? How we do that? Um,
So
some-
you mean to say, Sandeep, if you're feeling guilty about, let's say, I should be doing more for my parents, let's say, or I'm eating, food that I shouldn't be eating, is that is the guilt hindering my devotion? That's your
yeah,
question.
I mean, is that a hindrance, or is that we should get over with all these, guilt and let it be sort of things? Or
You have to keep it, when you practice devotion, keep everything else away for that time, because otherwise so much guilt will just wreak havoc on the mind, and you will not be able to practice devotion. So yes, you deal with the guilt, but as far as guilt goes, I feel guilty about this. So is it wrong that I'm doing this? Okay, let me correct it. So when you practice devotion, side by side, you should try to correct the situation that is making you feel guilty. And I know you've spoken to me about, or you've hinted at, like non-vegetarian food. Let's say if there's a guilt about that, okay, then I'll just give it up. It's better to just give it up. Or I want to do this, I'm not doing enough of this, let me do more of this. So the guilt is not there. And we feel guilty about things that we should be doing and we're not doing. So of course it hinders our devotion because it weighs on the mind. And with the same mind, we're to think about God and Guru. So it's best to deal with the reason, go to the reason behind the guilt, go to the root cause, and then nip that in the bud. Just get rid of that, and so that you can focus on devotion more properly.
is it like something which is beyond our control? And because sometimes things, I understand many things is under control, but sometimes some things are beyond our control, and we try to do that. It's like, it's pretty difficult. So is it like, should we just let it go and let it be like that?
Just let
And
it be. Let it be. Just an example. There was a gentleman who said, "I want to come to satsang, but I eat meat." And I said, "Okay, so that's okay. You're eating meat, you can come to satsang." And he said, "I feel guilty." I said, "No need to feel guilty. Just at least you come to do satsang, and nobody in satsang is telling you. I'm not going to tell you that you must give up meat, then you can come. But you come anyway." There are many people I know who will not come to satsang if they have eaten non-veg food on that day, and they'll come on the day when they have not eaten. So all that's one little guilt that they feel, but all that should be put aside. That I want to do devotion, I'll deal with everything else later. So when you practice devotion, that let me do this now, let me do Rup Dhyan, let me spend time with my Lord, and guilt and so on, work on it independently, work on it on that
Sorry,
separately.
just one more thing. Like, me and my wife decided to, my kids are taking names of God every night before sleeping. So
Okay.
we actually do this practice. But whenever they have some non-vegetarian, which usually sometimes in a week happens, we refrain that and tell them, no, you don't do that. Is this right? Or because we think like, no, perhaps with that, whatever you consume, you don't take the name of the God with that, in that
No, no,
state. So
don't
is that
start that.
right? Or
No, no, you should, and they should take the name of God every day, regardless of what you have eaten. That's okay.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lord. Radhe
Most
Radhe. Namaste.
Radhe Radhe. Sorry.
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe. Is that Vrinda? No, it's not Vrinda.
yes
It is? Oh, you're looking so big.
She's bigger now.
Yes. Yes, Vrinda.
What karo? Why are you being shy? Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe.
Nice to see you after a long time.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
You have already asked a question. Actually, I'll ask.
Go ahead.
Yes, actually, he has already asked the same
Oh, I
question.
see. He's already asked. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Vrinda
Sometimes.
just wanted to say Radhe Radhe to me.
Yes, yes, actually.
Good.
Yeah, Maharaji Siddhant says always like you ask God to the Nishkam Bhakti, nothing else. But sometimes as a human being, we are confused because we think like that Maharaji is always with us and if we can ask or like say share our problem with him and he can listen us and maybe sometimes so it's confusing sometimes.
I do understand. Yes, yes. When you're going through something, it's very difficult, and you say, I want to cry on your shoulders, and you know how I feel. And the fact is, he already does know. And there was a woman who who was talking to Sri Maharaji. Maharaji said, "How many children do you have?" And she said, "Maharaji, I have 3 children, and two are absolutely fine. One has these problems, and he has." Uh, and development issues and so on. And she was just saying this, and tears were just going to come out of her eyes. And Maharaji said, "Don't let the tears fall." And Maharaji said, "Because God has given you this child to take care of him. And so do not let the tears fall." And so she actually did, that's what Maharaji told her. That yes, that God, in other words, God already knows what you're going through. But don't ask to be free of that problem. Don't ask for him to resolve that problem. And know that he already knows, and he's giving this as prasad. Whatever he gives is his grace. So this is what you're meant to go through. This is what he's giving you, in other words. So it's very difficult when you're going through this. Then that's the time when philosophy has to be really kept in mind and really embraced at that time, that no, I will not ask, because it's all you can do to stop yourself from asking, or just saying, please do something, or just to say, I am suffering, whatever it is. But the philosophy says, no, don't. He already knows, and he already loves you. He loves you to death, and he's giving you this to you. And then, we have others we care about, and they're going through something, and it's all we can do to just say, please help this person, please do this. But at the same time, that God is already on the case. He already is doing whatever he needs to do. So then we have to go
Yes.
against.
Yeah, you are right. Even though like my parents, they are satsangis, they are ashramvasi.
Yes.
Even though like the father always always say me, why are you not asking? Why are you not telling the Maharajis about that? The problem is this. My Maharaji knows this. Why we ask or why we tell him, because he knows already. God knows already.
Right.
And if this is the part of the seva like they gave us, then we need to do this as a prasad and all. But like obviously everybody knows the philosophy, siddhant, everything, but sometimes your mind
Oh, of
like
course. Of course. It's imagine when Maharaji was in a plane, a small plane going from Barbados to Trinidad, and 20 minutes up in the air, 20 minutes after takeoff, there's smoke coming from the engine. And this is the time to ask God, help. And Maharaji saying, everybody's like, what's going on? And Maharaji was giving samosas out, and Maharaji just looked at everybody, looked at the smoke. Maharaji said, "Samosa khao." Say, let's all pray to God now at this point. And so, a great example of how, in that dire situation, even then, do not ask. Whatever's going to happen will happen. Just trust him.
yes.
And the mind does get disturbed. There's no doubt. We are human, and the mind gets disturbed and said, it's all you can do. It is very difficult to stop, to not ask God for help. But at that moment, you have to think that he's embracing me so lovingly. He's embracing my loved one, and he is saying, "I already know this, and I have you. I have your back. I love you so much, and this is something that you're meant to go through, or your loved ones are meant to go through. And it's very difficult, of course, but then you just need to embrace the philosophy and hold on to that very tightly."
Yeah, thank you, Didi. Radhe Radhe.
Welcome, Radhe Radhe.
Smiley.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.
You,
Radhe Radhe, good.
did you have a nice trip in India?
I did, yes, thank you. Yes.
Didi ji, just one question. What happens is that sometimes your heart is like it's not getting कहते हैं ना मन नहीं लग रहा है बहुत सारी
हाँ.
चीजें मतलब कि क्योंकि रूटीन चल रहा है साधना में भी नहीं कुछ साधना तो वैसे भी कुछ नहीं हो पाती है लेकिन किसी भी चीज से मन नहीं लगता है कि जैसे कहीं चले जाओ या कुछ घूम लो या कुछ कर लो तो एंड जैसे महाराज जी कहते हैं कि ये मन तो बहुत परेशान करता ही है तो उसको और मन को कंट्रोल भी नहीं कर सकते हो तो ऐसे में क्या करना चाहिए जब मन ना लग रहा हो घर पे भी कहीं पे भी मन ना लग रहा हो तो तब क्या करना चाहिए
So I'll just answer in English so everybody can understand.
Yeah.
So sometimes the mind is very restless, and it doesn't. You feel like, what should I do? Should I? It's not. It's becoming very challenging at home. Mind feels restless. Outside, it feels restless.
Like going on a holiday and all. That's what it says. Let's go on a holiday. Let's
go on a holiday.
Yeah.
Even on a holiday, it feels restless.
But then after
Right.
that also it's not calmed. Even if you go on a holiday, it's still
Right.
the same. You still feel exhausted and yeah.
Yes, the mind actually, gets rest not from a holiday, not from the outward journey, but from the inward journey when we really go in deep inside of us and then, hold on to God and Guru. That's the only time. That's the only way to get that rest, that courage to take on life, and for the mind to get interested and for the mind to say, I'm at rest and I'm doing well. Thank you. The only way to do that is to take the inward journey, to do devotion, to do the Rup Dhyan. That's it. And when the mind doesn't want to do it, that's the time to do it more. And then the mind will get back. It'll come to it. It will start enjoying it. Because it's not used to doing all that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Well, Radhe Radhe, everyone. It's great to be with you once again. And I look forward to, I think, 2 weeks from now.
Yes, Didi.
And we'll continue. So I'll just do a very short kirtan. Radhe 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 Shri Radhe 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 Radhe Shri Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Shri Radhe लाडली लाल की जय श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की
जय
श्री कृपालु धाम मनगढ़ की
की जय
जय जय श्री
राधे
जय
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 श्री
श्री राधे
जय
जय जय श्री राधे
राधे
Radhe
राधे राधे
राधे राधे
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe Didi.
राधे राधे